Hello, today I'm going to show you what you can make in your great aeronautics airship in order to make your experience more fun when you're exploring the worlds and uh, to give you an idea of what you can actually really do inside an airship. So here we have our bolt, storage system. This one's pretty small, but this still can hold a lot of items. Uh, Aside from using barrels and chests, you can instead do a bolt system under your airship in order to have access to your items. And we go here. I Here we can have that. This is the engine for this entire thing, and this is basically just a windmill that is using a lot of wool in order to give an 8192 stress units, which is then converted to this rotation speed controller. And we're using a propeller bearing here with some symmetrical sails in order to actually use up our entire engine powers. And this setup, this airship right here, is pretty late game actually, because of the requirement of brass is going to require blaze burners in order to actually make brass. And so this is not, you kind of have to go to the nether in order to just make brass. So what I have instead is go over here. You can make this kind of setup. Now I'm just gonna tell you this. The propeller looks a little goofy. It looks a little goofy, but this setup right here uses no brass whatsoever. This uses analog levers instead of throttle levers. Hold on, let me just, there we go. And instead of a rotation speed controller, we just have a gear ratio right here to turn it to 256. And we still use a windmill bearing here. This does redstone links does not require any brass whatsoever, nor does power toggle latch. So we're all good there. This is what you can do with the setup, and here you can see that it's still pretty much the same. The ball, none of these really use brass, so they're buyable mid-game. So you can start making your own ships mid-game already. I also have a waystone right here and a warp plate, which will teleport me right up in here. But you need a waystone support for that. What you can instead do is apply a handle right here, which you can grapple onto, pull yourself inward, and you're inside. And to get on the ship, there's another. Oh, this one's up in the sky. Let me demonstrate with this one. Yeah, right here. This one you can just grapple onto and climb up like that. You can also attach a rope pulley here to pull it down. But even without rope pulleys, if you power down the ship, if you turn off the fan first and then lower the burner's output, turn it off, I mean, it'll stay upright nonetheless. Now, this is pretty cool, right? The concept of windmill engines for me hasn't really been explored in Great. They all use something like the portable engine, which is it has around 2000 stress unit, I think. Yeah, it has 2000 stress units when it's using coal. And making a portable engine is pretty hard. You need an engine assembly. So it's a bit complicated, but it's still viable. It's just really tiny, and you're gonna need a lot of it, right? You're gonna need a lot of portable engines in order to get the same output as these two right here. This just requires around. This has around 16,000 in total. Oh shoot! Hold on. I did not know that was unlocked. Well, anyways, yeah, it has around 16,000 stress units. Should probably turn that off. This is just a clutch right here, powered by a toggle latch, which I have a controller to turn it off with. And yeah, so that when you're on your ship, for example, you want to turn off the engine. So let's say let's run. Also, I also have a windmill setup here because why not? All right, why not? And this one will give 500 drop, and it's used in order to. This is completely unnecessary, but I just wanted to use a windmill there for extra stress units, and it can be used to power up your. You can use to increase your gear ratio to 256. What we can do here is click here, just bound it to left shift, and say you're driving your boat right here, and if you want to turn off the engine, you can just do that. Then you can turn off the burners using these, as you can see. So yeah. Now, as I was making this video earlier, I just saw another video which really, really intrigued me because it was using a bug, a bug that's really interesting. Basically, I'm gonna show you all something crazy. Let's say we have an engine right here, around let's say around that. Then we place a swivel bearing right there and hold shift. So now they're both facing towards each other. Then we right click this one, the first bearing. This will serve as the main original source. And this bearing, if we right click this one, then right click this one again, what now we can do is hold this, and as you can see, the rotation power is still kept inside this bearing right here, and we can actually use it to power stop. Oh, there we go. See, it works. And what's cool about this is that if I break this one, as you can see, it will actually stop the rotation power. So it's still connected. We now have basically wireless rotation power, which is pretty awesome. And one thing to keep in mind though is that, let's say you have a limited you have stress units, of course you have stress units. So say this is powering that, right? It's powering by a what do you call that? A water wheel. And say you have a rotation speed controller. Oh wait, no. Say this is just for purposes, just for example purposes, in order to make this easier. If we increase the RPM of this so that it uses more stress units, as you can see, it's still overstressed because this only provides 256 stress units, while this goes beyond that limit, beyond that range. And so if we break it up, see, it still uses stress units. So that's one thing to keep in mind with. And if you break that original bearing, it'll actually keep that bearing. And if you break this one, that will be considered another swivel bearing. So you basically duplicated your swivel bearing. So that's another, yeah, that's another exploit basically. But what we can use this for is that, let's say we can just set up a steam engine right here, and then we can connect our swivel bearing right here, to power our entire airship with nothing but that one single swivel bearing. So now you can make your engine at, at a desired location, and it will be powering your entire contraption. So that's pretty cool. Just something to keep in mind of. This is definitely an exploit. This will get patched, but it's is it is it good to exploit as while the time is still there, while the chances are still available. And yeah, that's all I wanted to show you. I just wanted to show the possibilities with windmill bearings, I mean with windmill engines, because once the windmill engines start running, I think they're considered as entities. And so the space inside of the air balloon will actually restore back to the default, because if the windmill engines are not on, they're going to be considered as blocks, which will fill up the space inside the air balloon. So I think that's also a very good option. But in the meantime, while the update is still not up yet, maybe you can abuse this little exploit right here in order to provide crazy power to your airships while still having all of the space that you want inside of your uh airships or any vehicles that you wanna power wirelessly. And yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it, gain some new knowledge, and thanks for watching.